So you want to sound romantic while playing guitar, and I want to help you get there. So the first step that you got to do is take this pick right here and you are going to ditch it. Picks are a little bit too intense for the romantic sounds we're going to get today. We want something a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more dramatic. We want finger style. So everything we're going to talk about today is going to involve finger style guitar. Now, as you can see, I'm playing a classical guitar here, but you don't have to play a classical guitar. You can do this on any steel string acoustic. You could also even do this on an electric guitar. Just make sure you set your tone to be nice and clean if you're using an electric. So there are so many love songs out there, right? Love is, in fact, one of the most common subjects for songs. Now, this may sound a little bit cynical of me, but one thing I've found is actually a lot of love songs seem very formulaic. And what I mean by that is a lot of them actually use the exact same chords. Now, this love song chord progression is actually so common that it's got a few names. Some people call it the 50s chord progression, some people call it the ice cream changes, and some people call it the doo-wop chords. And it's all the exact same chord progression that, like I said, goes into so many classic love songs. Now, if we're in the key of G major on the guitar, that's going to be G major would be the first chord. The next chord is going to be E minor. The third chord is C major. And the fourth chord is D major. So 4 chords that make up so many classic love songs. Now, if you're familiar with the Nashville number system, that's going to be 1, 6, 4, and 5. So now that we've got the chords and the harmony to sound romantic, let's look at the technique in the right hand that we're going to do. We're going to be doing a really basic classical guitar pattern with our right hand or picking hand. Here's what it's going to sound like, and then I'll show it to you in detail afterwards. So starting on G. So let's break that down a little bit here. So grab your G chord with your fretboard hand. You can really do any G. I'm doing this one, but honestly, any G that is open will work fine for this. Now let's talk about the fingers before we bring the thumb into play here. So what you're going to be doing for the first 3 chords here, G, E minor, and C, you're going to be going, starting off here, your ring finger, or in classical, your A finger. Your ring finger is going to hit the B string. Your middle finger is going to hit the G string. And then your index is going to hit the D string. So those 3, I got B, G, D with ring finger, middle, and index. Or if you like the Pima, that's A, M, I. A, M, I. So before we bring the thumb in, do that 4 times, because that's what your fingers are going to do on this chord. They go 1, 2, 3, 4. I know you might be doing that way slower than me right now, but that is totally fine. 2, 3, 4. So do that a couple times just to get that feeling in your right hand and get that accurate, right? Try to get it so you're not sitting here staring at it, but you've got a bit of muscle memory on there. Now, the next step is going to be to add your thumb on the big E string right as the first ring finger is landing. So instead of just going ring, middle, index, I go thumb and ring together. Then everything else is the same. So it's like together, middle, index. All the other ones we leave it off. It's just the first one. One more time. Practice this just on G for a moment, just like this. Get this down. Because you're going to be doing pretty much the same thing on every single chord. Now, the next thing we want to do here is try it on E minor. So grab a 2-finger E minor with your left hand and do the exact same thing with your right hand. We got the E string and the B string to start. That's the E minor. Stick them both together. I got G, E minor. Now let's check out the C chord. Something slightly different on the C, but nothing major. Your thumb is going to go from the E string to the A string. Everything else is exactly the same there. We just start on the A string with our thumb, but my 3 fingers are still on B, G, and D. And our final chord, D, is going to be on the top 4. And we're just going to move everything so thumb is on D, and your 3 fingers are on the 3 treble strings. Your ring finger now on the high E, your middle on the B, and your index on the G. So the D chord would look like this. That is the romantic chord progression right there, and it sounds really nice and romantic with that right hand finger picking pattern. Now, once you've got a bit of practice on that, that's where the expression really comes into something like this. So you want to do a whole bunch of rise and fall in dynamics, which in other words means going up and down in volume, as well as doing a bit of a ritardando, which means a dramatic slowdown. That's the key to really making this sound romantic. You can't just play it exactly the same the whole time. You gotta be dramatic. It's gotta be romantic, right? So start off a little like, speed up a little, slow down, quiet up, slowly getting louder, up to D, nice and loud here, back to G, loud, slowly speeding up. Then I'm gonna start slowing down. Make it nice and dramatic like that with some slowdowns and speed ups. Don't do it in the way of like, oh, I've got to pause to find this next chord. No, this is a controlled slowdown, right? Controlled speed up. So add in some of those dramatic elements and you're going to be sounding like a romantic pro in no time. If anybody wants to keep going, to take this to an even next step higher, sounding even more romantic, watch on. We're going to add in a couple riffs into that chord progression, and it's going to totally transform it. Now, everything we're doing here, I'm actually going to be basing a little bit off of Ed Sheeran's Perfect. It's kind of like it, slightly different. So let's check it out. Let's add a bit of a melody into those chords. It's going to sound something like this. So this one's going to start off with a little riff that we're actually going to do a couple times. So open B string, 2nd fret on the G string to the open G string. That's going to happen a bunch in this song. So do it a couple times. Open B, 2nd fret on the G to the open G. So put that in right before you do the G chord. So you get... But we're only going to do 3 this time. So riff, 1, 2, 3. Do the same thing to E minor. The riff, same riff, to E minor, 3 times. So something like this so far. Riff, 3 times, riff. Now grab your C chord, and here's what you're gonna do for the C. So your right hand starts off the same as it was before. Now do the roll with your fingers, so ring, middle, and index again, but we're gonna take off the index in our left hand. So it goes, finger comes off, that's. Now you're just gonna go open G string, open D string, so that's. Then we're gonna go to a brief G where you do it twice. Those 2 cycles of the ring, middle, index. And then you're just going to strum right through a D chord after that, right from the A string down. And then you go back to the top. So let me show it to you 2 times through. Do those slowdowns and play with the volume. And that, my friends, is how you sound romantic on the guitar. So remember those slowdowns and speed ups and getting louder and softer, right? Romance is a little bit dramatic, so make sure you do it that way when you're playing guitar. I appreciate you sticking out till the end of this lesson, and to show my gratitude, I want to give you a free gift. I'm talking about this awesome book right here. This lesson is called How to Instantly Solo in Any Key, and it'll definitely get you having fun playing solos on the guitar. The first thing that this book is going to do is it's going to get you to instantly recognize any key, no matter where you are on the fretboard. And then it's going to show you a simple formula you can use to solo over any key you want. And it's 100% free and it's 100% yours, so make sure you click here or check out the link in the description. And it's lessons like this that get you having tons of fun on the instrument without getting bogged down with lots of theory, so check it out.